it's a good scripture. It's when in Luke 8, when Jesus he released the demon from the man. He commanded the demon to leave him. This demon had often taken control of the man, so that even when shackled with chains, he simply broke them and rushed out into the desert, completely under the demon's power. Legion was their name, as we all know. Everyone begged Jesus to go away and leave them alone, for a deep wave of fear had swept over them. So he returned to the boat and left, crossing back to the other side of the lake. The man who had been demon-possessed begged to go too, but Jesus said no. "Go back to your family," he told them, "and tell them what a wonderful thing God has done for you." So when you get the opportunity to tell people about the things that God has done for you, please do it, because it brings glory to Him. And it shows people that there's a decision to make between whether you want to believe that He's real and get those mercies, or just keep trying to do your thing on your own. He still gives you mercy every day. There's no way that you make your own way out of everything. It just doesn't work like that. Everybody has a point at which they meet their wits' end and they're like, well, I don't know what to do now. And you're just at the mercy of other people and nature and God. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't get away from it. It's something that all of us try to run away from, but it's not. It's not how it works. So, I want to talk about an issue that I see that I think everybody's aware of. Everybody knows it, but none of us understand exactly where the line is drawn. Whoever loses his life for my sake will save it, but whoever insists on keeping his life will lose it. A lot of what this can mean is clinging on, like the rich man that's wanted to be perfect, but then didn't want to sell all of his things. I was like, how many of us are doing that with multitudes of things? How many times do we just sit and just live a normal life instead of proceeding to do the things that we're asked to do? There's so many opportunities. There's so many homeless people on the street that you could just talk to or buy a meal. I mean, literally all we have to do is ask someone if they want to be saved. And I mean, literally just ask somebody if they want to be baptized, and it'll go over pretty well, I assume. Point is that there's work to be done, and the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Because there's so many people to just save. We have free will. There's only a set amount of people that get saved in terms of the 144,000, and they are people who are probably living in caves or in monasteries and have never done anything that's ever accused them of being a liar or a stealer or anything like that. They've cowered in fear at the Lord and followed Him wherever He has went. That is not me. That is not the majority of human beings. But we all have a place in heaven. We're all allowed by the grace of God to stay with Him and have life and get to be with Jesus, the incarnate image of Christ, of God, of the Lord, of life itself. The thing that makes everything proceed from the nothing or whatever, the thing that the being that created everything out of nothing. And so, you know, it's like it's something we gotta respect and make sure that we understand, because he's not gonna end up. The thing is the reason why it's taken so long for anything to actually happen in this world, and why all these things take so long to set up, is because humans, God, first and foremost, has a plan. He has a way that he's already determined that it's going to work out, and we don't know why. We literally have no idea. There's plenty of times where we're going to be able to see, oh, okay, he's going to teach us, and it'll be apparent. I mean, to me, the things that run through a human's mind, if they can figure it out about God, that means God gave it to him. There's no way to just cheat your way into knowledge. And if there is, you're gonna see the consequences of the other side of what you did, instead of it being from a pure place, and never really getting anywhere because you're doing bad things. Point is, most of us would be better off just doing what he asked, carrying our cross, and living, you just not really thinking about death, not fearing it, and not thinking about anything other than Jesus, because he's the one that is going to get us all back to life, because this is not life. We don't know how to manage it, and he made it to where we're going to see why it's not how it works, and then he's going to fix it. He's going to rule the correct manner, and in the correct manner, and he's going to make everybody happy. And it's not by force, it's really not. It's only through trial and tribulation that we see the consequences of our own actions, and then through that we have a choice to make. Give up our own will, which it's not much different than Jesus' will. He's not asking us to just live. He might be now. He might be asking us to not kill ourselves, but essentially, you get what I mean. Put ourselves into the position where we're not worried about our life. Obviously, he doesn't want us to die. He has plans that will prosper us, but at the same time, he might require those who are required to go to prison and die. Just like the prophecy says, it's whatever you're given in life, that's what you have to apply. And yeah. If you don't do what you gotta do, then you get discombobulated, and your life just kind of slowly deteriorates, and that's not fun. It's not good. I think really the best part of the message is that he's real, and that he loves us, and he genuinely wants the best for us. He really does. It's just 90% of us are running around with our heads cut off. Technology, I got this phone in my hand. I should be talking to somebody about this, or preaching, or sitting in silence. But here I am on a phone because I can't handle sitting in silence. Do I genuinely believe that Jesus Christ wants me to suffer endlessly for no reason? No. I just haven't done what he's been asking me to do. That is as simple as it comes down to, and it is all my fault. And that is the same thing that Jesus intends to prove to every other human being. Yeshua, my bad. That's the same thing that he intends to prove to literally everybody else, is that it is our fault, that it's the way it is. He doesn't intend to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. He came down here and died for us. He gave us the choice between obeying and disregarding his law, and we chose to disregard it. The first two humans that, the first two humans that were on the earth, assuming there wasn't any before them, and that's what the Bible says, those were the two firstborn of Adam and Eve, was Cain and Abel, and one of them ended up deciding to murder somebody. Not to mention, it was already in our blood to do things against what God had willed. He told us not to eat the fruit, and we did. And we woke up from the dream that God had us in, which was paradise. There was no problems. We weren't thinking about problems. We weren't trying to solve problems. We were just living with God. Perfect union. And now we got all these problems. And it is just as much a blessing as anything else, because at the end it'll be right back to the perfect union with God, except we'll have foreknowledge. Assuming he lets us keep our knowledge. Who knows? It's literally whatever he thinks is best, because it will be the better option. And we'll just get to chill. We'll just get to hang out, We'll be on a temple with no sun, just the light of God, a fresh tree, multiple trees, just beauty, a river of life, and a tree with healing herbs for the nations, for all nations. A temple so big, a city so big that we can't even fathom it, because it can fit the entire population of whoever is left, and it's got to be at least, I hope, half the population of the world. Maybe it really will just be 1,000,000 people or something. Who knows? Who knows how small or big? Considering that he said the gate is narrow, who knows? Who really knows what's going to happen? But that is part of the burden that he has laid upon us. And that's okay, because he gives us the strength to carry on. He makes it so that we can actually hold it and keep it for ourselves, so that we can rule with him over ourselves and the world, because that's what life was made for, was to hold ourselves accountable and manage reality. And somehow he makes it all manageable instead of not, because right now we don't have it under control. He's going to come back at the worst of it and fix it all. If he can do that, then why wouldn't we trust him for the rest of eternity? How does one stay with the Lord? That's the biggest question. To my current knowledge, is that the Lord is the only way to life, and he sent his Son to show us the way and to free us from the burdens of having to sacrifice to the law certain things, animals, and even, that was the point. He still wants us to live in and of ourselves as a living sacrifice, our lives for sacrifice towards Him. But He doesn't want us killing animals. He didn't really. That's literally just a placeholder for His Son. That was what it was. And His Son did it willingly. Even if He had weaknesses about it, that was not counted against Him as a sin. It was counted. He was allowed to have that weakness and still move forward with the purpose that God had intended for him. Everybody's given that grace. Everybody's allowed to make their own choice.